Thank you, Senator Kane. Senator Budd, please.
Thank you, Chairman. General, thanks for being here. I enjoyed our conversation in my office last week. I also want to thank your family for being here and for your time in North Carolina as well. You know, in our discussion, we talked about an issue that's top of mind, I'm sure, for you and for many of us as Americans, and that's the rising threat of China. So if confirmed, how do you see the Marine Corps contributing to the joint force in competition and potential conflict in the Indo-Pacific?
Senator, concur with you, and of course, as does our national defense strategy, that China is the pacing challenge. The Marine Corps keeps a Marine Expeditionary Force forward in the Pacific. On any given day, there's 27,000 Marines roughly west of the international date line, several thousand more in Hawaii ready to go. And of course, our forces in California are poised and focused on the Indo-Pacific as is required. The Marine Corps, as an expeditionary crisis response force, is first to fight, and we must stay forward. We call it stand-in forces, but those Marines are already forward. We just have to ensure that they're best armed, best equipped, best trained and organized to be able to deter and change the trajectory of an adversary action before it becomes a full-blown crisis. That's who we are, what we do, and being forward with our allies and partners has immeasurable value. My time in the Pacific, and I assume my son's time in the Pacific for him, taught me that.
Thank you. Now, there's no doubt that the Marine Corps will play a critical role for the joint force, but can you talk specifically about how force design is both threat-informed and budget-conscious?
So, sir, I would say on the first part, it is threat-informed in that the deep analysis that has gone into what our adversaries globally can do. China is the pacing challenge, Russia is the acute threat, and then, of course, violent extremism, Iran and North Korea. What capabilities do they have, and how do we need to thwart them? It is completely threat-informed, and it moves daily through our intelligence estimates. And then as far as the budget, sir, you know, if confirmed, I am responsible or would be responsible for balancing the Marine Air Ground Task Force, families, munitions, housing, training, all of that. But force design was not a budgetarily driven process. It was what do we need and what things are less important in the fight that we think is coming. So let's focus on the things that are most important. And as you know, sir, we've done some self-funding to be good stewards of the tax money, but that funding, self-funding, we've maxed that out, if you will, and we will seek support, and if confirmed, I'll seek support where required, and I'll never be shy about telling you what our young Marines need to have an unfair fight in the Pacific or globally.
Thank you for that. Since both of us have family members serving as Marines, I was glad to hear you say that you don't ever want them in a fair fight. It seems like force design is intended to make sure any future fight is definitely in our favor. Now, that being said, there's still considerable criticism of the Marine Corps modernization efforts. One of the things that stuck from our conversation is that you said it's not about being right, it's about winning. So I agree with you, and I'm hoping you'll commit to continue rapid and smart and intelligent experimentation and reversing course when something doesn't work. General, will you commit to that?
Senator, absolutely. When that data becomes available, as we have done and made modifications, because as I said, sir, I'm committed to that because I want to win.
So one of the other issues that will be critical to any future fight in the Indo-Pacific is the need to work with our allies and with our partners. You alluded to that earlier, but how is the Marine Corps currently partnering and training with allies in the region, and where and how can we be doing more or better as a partner?
Senator, your Marines in the Pacific and globally, we're in Honduras, we're working in parts of Africa, we're in Djibouti, we're up in the high north with Norway. We're also in the Pacific in Thailand, the Philippines, Singapore, Japan, Korea, Australia. We are globally present, and the way that we maintain that global presence in many cases is to be forward with our amphibious warships, because those warships bring with them helicopters, jets, long-range fires, all in one package. And often, when those exercises begin and end on certain days, you can't afford to have 7 different methods to have pieces arrive, piece parts. We have to show up as a Marine Air Ground Task Force. So I think your support for those amphibious warships is vital, and if confirmed, I'll continue to work to earn that support.
Thank you, General, and thank your family as well. I yield back, Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Budd. Senator King, please.